Hello to you. My name is Jessie Johnson. This is Admiral Richard Byrd, truth teller or gatekeeper for the capitalist political republic world Western culture system. Admiral Byrd was a celebrity to many and the public face of the U.S. Navy in specific and the U.S. military in general in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Both ball earthers and flat earthers use Admiral Byrd's interviews and polar exploits to support their views about the Earth's most likely shape. And the arguments and name callings go back and forth, mainly from ball earthers. For the public, Admiral Byrd was an icon, but he was also something else, a gatekeeper for the Western culture's capitalist system. This was to make certain that hundreds of millions stayed brainwashed and stayed slaves and never wake up to the truth of the Earth's true shape. How? His statements were to confuse and lead astray the star-struck, hero worshippers, and gullible. He mixed truth with lies. In other words, misinformation. Two videos are used to make this video. Both are on YouTube, both are scripted, nothing's left to chance. The public is to know nothing outside of what they're already been brainwashed into, which is the heliocentric religion model of a universe, a sun-centered solar system with a spinning ball-shaped Earth revolving around it. Sun worship, in other words. Faith is needed to believe this. Let's begin. Admiral Byrd is on two videos, a long Jeans Watch Company video interview, and B, a video called Antarctic Research 26954. Admiral Byrd's answers will be broken down into 12 parts. Hold on, please. I'm going to move the camera. Now, let's continue. Number one, on the long Jeans interview, the commentator asks Admiral Byrd, is there any land unexplored left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans? Admiral Byrd, yes, there is, and not up around the North Pole because it's getting crowded up there now, but because they find it really usable not only to live in, but militarily. Let's stop for a second. On this here ball Earth map, or modern 2016 Atlas map, there's nothing but water. See it? Nothing but water. This is the North Pole. North Pole. This here is the North Pole right here at the center. Nothing but water. All this blue right here. 500 to 600 miles in radius in general from the North Pole. Crowded? How? People living there? Where? In the middle of hundreds of miles of water in all directions? Let's go to number two. Admiral Byrd continues, but strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by human being. Let's stop for a second. Look at this map here. This is a comparative map of the U.S. right here, the USA right here, at 3.797 million miles square, and supposedly Antarctica, all of this white right here, Antarctica, at 5.405 million miles square. The difference is 1.608 million miles square. This here is the South Pole, right here at that dot. This here at this dot is little, L-I-T-T-L-E, little America. This here is the South Pole, as you can see here. How is it no one's ever seen or explored, to whatever degree, this here land size? No one else has ever explored this here or seen this here much land size on the Antarctic so-called continent. From 1350 to 1950, over 500 years. But only him and his crew. Other nations have planes, and it's just as important to them, not only the U.S. people. And with all the voyages having taken place in 500 years in reference to the South Pole, wasn't a flag put there at the South Pole? Let's go to number 3. Admiral Byrd continues, and that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from middle, he says middle, M-I-D-D-L-E, America. Though he says middle in the video the first time, his meaning is little, L-I-T-T-L-E, little America, a military base he founded. Why? Because he says little, L-I-T-T-L-E, America, later on in the same video interview when talking about evacuating little America, when speaking about frozen food. Here's the thing, there are only 2 poles on a ball Earth. Where is he talking about? There's the South Pole, there's the North Pole. There are only 2 poles on a ball Earth. This is the top, here's the bottom. On a ball Earth. Where is he talking about? Hold on, please. This down here at this spot is little America. At this spot right here is the South Pole, right here at this dot. Right here is the other side of South Pole, other side of the South Pole, wherever that's at, then beyond this is here. And then beyond here is a USA-sized landmass. It cannot be on the Antarctic, Antarctica. With beyond the South Pole, there are only 2 poles on a ball Earth. And he's talking about this land being unseen and unexplored by others. Dozens of voyages all over the Earth, and the Antarctica in specific has taken place before his birth. And there's no extra land on a ball Earth. Extra land is possible on a flat Earth if Earth is larger than we're told. Hold on, please. As you can see, this here is a flat Earth map, or an azimuthal equidistant map. Now let's go to 4. Here, there can be a beyond the South Pole here, beyond that South Pole, and beyond that. South Pole, beyond the South Pole, and beyond that. On a flat Earth map, on an azimuthal Earth map, if and only if the Earth is larger than we've been told. Now let's go to 4. Admiral Byrd continues, I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area that big that's never been explored, so there's a lot of adventure left at the bottom of the world. Bottom of the world indicates a ball-shaped Earth. Bottom of the world indicates a ball-shaped Earth. And the top. Then, as you can see, this can be, but not on a ball-shaped Earth. Now, only two poles on a ball-shaped Earth. So where can this be? Little America, South Pole, beyond the South Pole, and beyond that is a landmass approximately the size of the USA. But only on a flat Earth map, where you can have such land beyond the poles, maybe over here somewhere, and so forth, of USA-sized land mass, as you can see here. Let's go to number 5. The commentators question, why this interest in the bottom of the world? Nobody living there down there is there. Admiral Byrd, because it happens to be an untouched reservoir of natural resources. This reply is suspect. A high military brass telling the whole world of untouched resources. 180 miles from the South Pole in an oasis, instead of great secrecy. Very, very suspect. Number 6. In the Long Jeans interview, Admiral Byrd says, when we had evacuated Little America. Hence, he was always talking about L-I-T-T-L-E, Little America, the base he founded, and never about talking about any so-called Middle America. Let's go to 7. Commentator, Admiral, you speak of the resources of Antarctica. What are they? What are the natural resources there? Admiral Byrd, coal, other minerals, oil there, probably uranium there. Stop for a second. Politicians, multi-billion-dollar companies, the military letting the whole world know this. This is very suspect. Very suspect indeed. Why? It's most likely untrue. A resource oasis in the center of Antarctica, free, F-R-E-E, free for all, in an almost tropical oasis, in the time of airplanes with 5,000 to 10,000 miles travel distances, very suspect. They would not need to bring any of those resources here, back here to Earth, to the U.S. The big shots, such as politicians, billionaires, top military brass, big shot celebrities and families, etc., would go live there, and the poor and the broke would not be allowed, and so on. Let's go to number 8. The commentator, is there a great difference between the top of the world and the bottom of the world? Admiral Byrd, there is now. The North Pole is the center of an ocean 10,000 feet deep. The South Pole is the center of a plateau 10,000 feet high. Number 9. Admiral Byrd continues. The North Pole is a sea surrounded by continents. Continents? That's a question. Continents slightly frozen. Stop for a second. It is surrounded by continents in the North Pole. Look at here. This is the central North Pole. There is no continents in here. None whatsoever. Look at this azimuthal, this azimuthal round, not azimuthal, this atlas map of a round Earth, ball Earth. There is no continents, none whatsoever inside here. None whatsoever for hundreds of miles. But now, even though you see no continents in here on a 2016 atlas map, there are. Now, what continents on a modern map can he possibly be talking about? There's nothing but water there. It's getting crowded with people up there. How is that possible? But here on this 1595 Mercator map, there are 4 continents right here at the North Pole. This is the North Pole right here. The North Pole here at the center. 4 continents. 4 continents. Lots of people could live there. Also, on another video titled Admiral Richard Byrd, Antarctic Research 26954, Admiral Byrd says the North Polar Sea is surrounded by frozen continents, confirming what he said on the Long Jeans video. The 5 regular continents that we live on aren't frozen. Also, Trisong, T-R-I-S-O-N-G, Trisong Detsen, D-E-T-S-E-N, Trisong Detsen, the king of Tibet, in 700, who was king of Tibet 740 A.D. to 798 A.D., knew and mentions the 4 North Pole continents in his written logs, before European maps were ever written and drawn in the 1500s. Now, and that was over 1,200 years ago. So who's right? The 2016 Modern Atlas map, the 1595 Mercator map, Trisong Detsen in 740 A.D., or Admiral Byrd in the 1950s? Let's go to number 10. Admiral Byrd continues, from the Long Jeans interview, the Antarctic continent is surrounded by a belt of ice. The Antarctic frozen seas and at least 1,200 miles thick. Modern Atlas map shows no such belt of ice. A modern Atlas map shows no such belt of ice. Shows no such belt of ice surrounding anything. No such belt of ice. On an azimuthal equidistant map or a flat Earth map, this is a belt of ice. This is a belt of ice, and this can be considered a circular continent belt of ice, 1,200 miles thick. A belt of ice. A complete circular continent that can be 1,200 miles thick, or wide, better yet, or 1,200 miles wide. That can exist. And there can be, in probability, a landmass the size of the U.S. beyond it, such as here. Or beyond the pole, beyond Little America, beyond the South Pole, beyond the South Pole here, beyond that, and then beyond that, there can be a landmass the size of the U.S. if and only if the Earth is larger than what we have been told. But there's a problem. Who's allowed to find out without being stopped if you try to go there? Now, Admiral Byrd says Admiral Byrd's specific routes to this day are very highly secret and classified. Yet, he says on TV, 180 miles from the South Pole are reservoirs of untouched resources. Then he's told, so therefore, he's told a very important part of his own route. A damn important one. And they classify the less important rest of his route. This is nothing more than a joke. Let's continue. The fact of the matter is simple enough. You're told nonsense and fragmentary facts, and only what they want you to know. For the public, Admiral Byrd is a celebrity. For the military, he's all seriousness. For the capitalist, Republican political system, he's a gatekeeper. For the slaves, the hundreds of millions to billions of slaves of Western culture, by the hundreds of millions, he is a forked tongue. He is a liar, and therefore can never be trusted. Politically speaking, listen to me carefully, politically speaking, the white man's political republic and capitalist system is built on lies, misinformation, genocide, slavery of at least 90% or almost all citizens of Western culture, racism, anti-Americanism in the U.S., oppression, world robbery of other countries, environmental life genocide, poison and pollution at all levels, in almost all things, money, etc., even against all other white men and white women who themselves don't know that all of them are slaves. All of it backed up and propped up by one single thing, the gun. Without the gun, everything modern Western culture stands for turns to and is dust. I want to thank everyone for listening and watching, and have a good day. Share this video. Have a good day.